Right now, social rights activist, poet and author Bandile Magibili is flying the South African flag high. He's been invited to hold a series of lectures at Kingston University's Business School. Magibili joins us now in studio for more details on this invite. Bandile, thank you very much for joining us here on ENCA. Just first of all, tell us, were you surprised at all when you got this invite to come lecture for 2 whole weeks?
No, I was not surprised because I've been instigating this for over the years, you know, and the lecturer who invited me, it's somebody who has hosted me in some of the university he worked for around the UK, one being University of East London, Sussex University, and many other platforms. So I was not surprised because he's seen some of the works that I've been doing in the UK and also here in South Africa.
So you've written a paper, a thesis, and also even a book, To Be Black. What is it in there that makes you stand out to go and lecture at business schools?
Okay, firstly, we must understand that I'm a graduate from the University of Involvement. So not there according to so-and-so who has never been involved to understand the background dynamics of what's happening on the ground. So from there, I created the book artwork To Be Black, which actually tells South African history in the form of titled paintings and narratives, as seen through the eyes of a great fine art artist called Mr. Tembani Hastings Mkhai that he created during the apartheid time. So because I have this drive regarding the plight of black artists, because when you go to the history of art, we only study and learn about white artists. We don't study about our own. And because I'm not a person who likes to complain. I like to say I have to offer something to say that we've got our own artists who are doing great, exceptional works. And some of the works he has done, the SATU logo, but nobody knows who created the SATU logo, which is a national symbol that is used nationally and internationally. He's also the designer of the South African flag. But then the credit was given to a person who was a chairperson of the selection board. So that is the plight that is contained within the book, where one lectures to actually say, if we don't correct the wrongs by actually highlighting what actually happened in the background, then we're not going to see any change as we are advocating for change.
Was it your research and your writings that actually brought this to more South Africans' attention in terms of the artists not being given the credit? We've seen that there's even court processes around that, the artist of our flag.
The interest was not really solely on the flag per se. It was based on the plight of black artists in terms of, number one, after I got exposed to some of the works that he has done, I went to the internet to check if I could find that he's the designer of the SATU logo. I didn't find that, and I also told him that he also told me that he also designed the South African flag and stuff like that. I went to check on him, and I found Frederick Brodo, the guy who was the chairperson. He died in 2019. So from there, I actually started to speak about this during lectures while Brownell was still alive. Around 2013, if I'm not mistaken, I had a lecture at Rhodes University at the time, where I got an invite from Prof. Russell Kashula, who was working there now. He's with UWC now. So from there, after Brownell died, a lot of people, our government started praising Brownell, being a great patriot and all those things. And then people on social media were like, no.
Why are you praising him now?
We know the designer is Hastings Mkhai. And then they started the government issued a statement to say we must not be taken serious. Brownell is the one who designed, Kai did not design it. Then we started making submissions to the government to say they must correct the wrong by making this submission. So they took it light and they started to say they'll be doing an investigation. We took him over 2 years to do an investigation that they're going through archives, 7,000 plus archives of the submissions. So the question was, don't they have an archiving system where they archive according to alphabets, where if you're looking from Kai, you just go to the M's and be able to check. So it was that process, but I do believe that they take the matter very lightly, and because it's small fishes, 2 small fishes, black fishes from the Eastern Cape who are challenging the big fishes in the pond. So I decided, because this is a very serious cause and something that's very close to my heart, to actually contribute in the change of how our future artists are going to be treated by the powers that be.
Yeah.
So the lectures came as a result of that. The academic paper came as a result of that, because researchers are not doing what they're supposed to do. Media practitioners are not doing what they're supposed to do. Because immediately when you get interviews to speak about the flag, a lot of producers will be interested to cover the story. Boom, when they contact the department, after that they cancel the interview without giving any proper reasons. So it's a sign that there's a very strong sense of censorship to a lot of content producers, media people, and all those things. So because I'm a global citizen, I'm not going to limit it to South Africa. So going there is just one of those efforts to ensure that we correct the wrong.
Yeah, and that African artists are celebrated. So how important is it to you that, like you say, you're an international artist or a global citizen rather? You know, how important is it for you to go to a platform such as London to tell the story of an African person from an African person?
It's very important, because I remember at some point when I was doing a lecture, I think it was in 2014 at the University of East London in England, some of the students and the professors there, they were very shocked to say they never thought in their lifetime there would be a black person speaking about his plight in front of white-only students. It's really a sign to show that there is some form of transformation, even though there's still a lot to be done in order to shift and change how things are being done. Yeah. So it's very important that if we share this information that they're trying to suppress in the country, we are going to tap into different spaces, even if they co-opt the attorneys, you know, the legal practitioners and everybody else. But this is something very close to my heart, and for me, I'm even prepared to die for it if it goes to that extent.
Yeah. Yes. I just want to go back to something that you just said. You know, you said, you know, they'll take advantage of you because it's too small fish from the Eastern Cape, yes. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, the Eastern Cape is a province that has given us people like Siago Lisi, it's given us your Nelson Mandela, it's given us Winnie Madikizela Mandela, many of them. So is it still okay for us to consider it just a small province? And, you know, because it even goes back to services that are not given in the Eastern Cape, where, you know, some of us as media practitioners become surprised because that province should be a very important province, even to government.
Yeah, my outlook of it is that, for instance, if we talk within the space that you are in, we have like very great media people who migrate from the Eastern Cape because they believe opportunities are in Johannesburg. And then if you come as a person from the Eastern Cape, I've experienced that before, and you get a content producer who works for a certain establishment, you come and give a press release, they're not going to cover you. Because my outlook of it is that because you don't believe that you can do stuff in the Eastern Cape, you cannot believe in somebody you've left behind, that they can have an impact and change, you know, the outlook of society and stuff like that. So that is my view.
So it's
of
both ways, I guess, that's your view.
Yeah, even like, you know, to have two black people who are united, which is Mr. Mkai and myself, like fighting the cause, you know, because as much as we are fighting the flag issue, it is not about me, it's not about Mr. Mkai, but this is just an instrument to actually show that we need to correct the wrong. And now if we speak about a national symbol that is flying across the countries, and then we don't have a transparent legal document that actually guides what actually happened and what unfolded when it comes to the design of the South African flag, how can a chairperson of a selection board be given a role to design again after such a call was made, where he received over 7,000 submissions? Yes.
Well, this is something obviously that we still need to discuss. It's a long way to go with this particular debate around the designer of the South African flag, but you are about to fly high in London. Congratulations and good luck. When are you leaving?
I'm leaving in November.
Okay, all right. All the best with your 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks of lecturing.
It's 2 weeks, yes.
Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for hosting me. Please.
All right, that was Magibili. He joined us, of course, in studio. He's going to lecture in a university in London for 2 weeks, just about, as you heard him say, righting the wrong.